Good afternoon. I know it's siesta time, but the environment, I think, is the most important thing because without that, we can't move on. So please listen. Um, Also, my presentation is a bit skeletal because I've been traveling. So I'm going to sit down and go through my notes, also because I have the memory of a goldfish, so I can't sort of spout off. So Redefining Development, this is what I asked Nimal whether this is a title I could speak on. And I think it's really important because we have to reposition. I have long been accused of being anti-development. And if you're going by the outdated definition of development, damn right I am opposed to it. So the Cambridge English Dictionary defines development as the process in which someone or something grows or changes and becomes more advanced. So now I'm a bit of a nerd, so I looked up advanced. And it says to go or move forward, or move something forward, or to develop or improve something. Improve. I think that's where we really messed up. We didn't understand improve. So if I were to put a mark on it, I would say it's a much hallowed industrial age when we misunderstood development and we thought it was ground-up construction. We thought we were improving natural landscapes by distorting them and creating artificial worlds. Today, mainstream development is digging up and eradicating everything that is not immediately evident economic value, diverting and disrupting patterns of life and growth so we can superimpose our bright ideas, our myopic visions. And we've forgotten the basics. We've forgotten that what we need is air, the air we breathe, and the soil that produces our food and water. That's what we forgot to improve. So we just stomp all over. We are confident that we can completely handle this. We know what we are doing with the planet. We do this with the ignorant notion that we are not a part of any ecosystem. As Vidura said, everything is human-centric. First, we may need to acknowledge that we are just another species on this planet. We may be smarter and we may be more manipulative. But at the end of the day, we are part of a system. And either way, we have to accept we are not completely in control. We forget that we've only managed to, we've learned to manage only the tip of the iceberg of what exists on planet Earth. Occasionally, we get a reminder about our relevance, earthquake, landslide, flood, and then tiny little human beings become equal to ants washed down our Phillips Stark wash basins. Psh, gone. Suddenly, that term climate change is beginning to register amongst most of us. Now, in a desperate last-ditch effort, we are adding prefixes to development. Sustainable development, eco-development, green development. But is that enough? No. Prefixes won't help us. We need to reposition our understanding of what development is. We really need to think this through. Let me give you a really bad example. In 2012, the irrigation department came up with the Yanoyo Reservoir project. None of the numbers tallied. The newly irrigated paddy lands were less than the paddy lands to be inundated. I mean, why do this? Yeah, I can tell you why it was money, but anyway. In their calculation, fell forests were listed simply as a profit from timber. Now, this is wrong. This is not development. We need to be completely cured of the cut, clear, excavate, and extract mentality. Let's move on from the antiquated colonial concept of damming rivers and clearing forests in the name of development. If you go to a village and go anywhere, they'll tell you, "Kale elikarla patanganna." Let's clear the forest and start. That's got to stop. That's outdated. That's so colonial. So let's stop this archaic practice right now. So revaluing is the key. What are we doing wrong? What are we doing right? There's a need for the majority to understand that development is truly an improvement, not a water guzzling, forest eating, apple eating, shiny monument. That's really not on. A contemporary development would be intelligent enough to improve both our condition as a species of an ecosystem and the earth in equilibrium. This is sustainability, the value element. May I remind you again that sustainable is if the alteration takes into account the entire ecosystem we are playing with, not just the immediate economic advantage to the human species. So development that is focused on sustainability or replenishing the earth with its presence is of great value. Be it construction, cultivation, or irrigation, what improvements will make life on this planet, this country, and this plot of land sustainable? Replenishing our planet with the essentials for life: air, water, food. So to do that, development should be projects that are economically viable while growing more greenery than their dependents require, and thus return more clean air than they consume. Increasing or replenishing a groundwater table they occupy, that includes responsible waste management. Now, that's something that no one really commits to. Growing more food than their dependents require. Now, that's not as difficult as it sounds. It's changing a mindset from selfish to responsible. Admitting that most of our actions are really selfish. Making these 3 requirements a part of your development brief. Now, I work as an architect, and I have to sort of inject these into my clients. But that's a responsibility that everyone should take without waiting for some pain in the behind like me to come along. With this consciousness at the initiation of any development, the following will happen automatically. Responsible siting. Mitigating excavations, landfills, deforestation will facilitate sustainability. It will reduce landslides, floods, desertification. Manageable footprints. To be self-sufficient in air, water, and food requires a small footprint. If not, you can always make an arrangement that compensates excessive usage, carbon trading, whatever, if you're that big, yeah. Improved ambience, clean air, clean water, and hopefully a clean conscience. So, as I said, this can be done. I've done it with corporate clients, convinced them that this is possible. We've had great successes. So may I urge you to think about what real development is. Development that is intelligent enough to sustain our children and us in our old age, because as the slogan says, there is no planet B. Let's join the future and ensure it's ours. Let's move on.